Okay, now we go to the agglutination reaction. So, when we speak about agglutination reaction, it's just the reaction between your antibody and a particulate antigen. So, for the formation of your visible agglutinates, so we have here two steps. First, we have the sensitization, and followed here by the lattice formation. So, pag sinabing sensitization is just the binding of your antigen and corresponding antibody. And pag sinabi nating lattice formation, so pag nag-form ng ating, if you have your antigen antibody, so pag they try to bind to another, that's your sensitization. So pag nag-form na sila ng complex, lumalaki ang structure nito. Okay? So pag lumaki ang structure niya, that become your lattice formation. And the lattice formation would allows you then to identify the visible na agglutinates manifested as your macroscopic agglutination reaction. We classify agglutination reaction as direct and we have also the indirect. Pag sinabing direct agglutination, the one you're detecting is already present in your cell. Pag indirect agglutination, so you are using a carrier particle like your latex particle, your charcoal, or even your red cell in order for you then to have a bigger surface area para ma-detect natin ang ating antigen or even your antibody. Pag direct naman, hindi na tayo gumagamit ng carrier particle. So example of your direct agglutination reaction, we have here your Widow's test. Okay, the Widow's test, we are detecting for the Salmonella typhosa, which is your bacteria which try to cause here your typhoid fever. And basically, in the Salmonella, there are several. So, ang direct siya is because ang antigen na dinidetect natin, kung ito ang bacteria natin, kung this was your bacteria na Salmonella, dito na mismo siya, may mga antigen like O, the somatic okay, antigen, or we have here the H, which is the flagellar antigen. So, dito na siya mismo sa cell natin, making this one as direct. Para ma-detect ito, since these are your antigen, gumagamit tayo ng reagent in the form of your antibody. So, we have your anti-O antibody and anti-H antibody to detect that one. So, ulit, tinatawag siyang direct is because ng ating antigen is already found on the surface, like here in the surface of your bacteria. For the specific reaction for the O antigen, somatic antigen, so it would have your compact lobular agglutination pattern. For the H, would have your snowflake-like agglutination pattern. So another one, we have your heme agglutination. Pag sinabing heme agglutination, ang dinidetect natin is the cell natin, not the bacteria, but rather RBC. So dito sa RBC na to, nandun ang ating mga antigen. Like for example, in your blood typing, so if that one is your blood typing, we are detecting for our different antigen na ABO antigen. So pag type A ulit ang patient natin, what you have here is the A antigen. Yun ang dinidetect natin. And gumagamit tayo ng anti-sera in the form of anti-A to detect this one. So making this one as your direct. Hindi tayo gumagamit ng carrier particle para ma-detect lang ito. Mean to say your agent here is just only already a reagent na anti-sera. Wala itong mga carrier na particles. Kasi kaya niya nang i-detect ito even wala siyang carrier na particles. So there are two types of your blood typing. We have the forward and we have the reverse. Your forward is your direct blood typing. Pag sinabing direct, so basically that one you are detecting for the antigen. And your reagent for that is your antibody, anti-sera. Pag reverse naman or backward typing, we are detecting for antibodies. So since antibodies na dinidetect natin, ang ating reagent is your antigen. Known A, known B na mga red cell suspension that contains your antigen. Okay, we have here the grading of your agglutination reaction. So always remember that one. 0 is negative, 1 plus small clumps, 2 plus is moderate, small to medium clump, 3 plus is several large clumps. Pag 4 plus, 1 solid clump. is 4 plus. Okay, now we go to your passive agglutination reaction. Now we go to your indirect agglutination reaction. Indirect agglutination reaction, again, comparing that one to your direct, in indirect, you are using a carrier particle. Carrier particle in the form of latex particle, red blood cells, or even your charcoal. You are using that one, so doon natin ina-adsorb ang ating reagent. Okay, pag sinabing adsorb, like for example, ito ang reagent natin. Like if you are detecting for antigen, so this is the one you are detecting, ang antibody natin, ang ating reagent. Ang antibody natin dito ay hindi siya directly mag-react dito, but rather we are using a carrier particle for that. Your carrier particle could be RBC ito, so i-adsorb mo siya dito, ilagay mo siya. So pag naka-adsorb ang reagent mo to your carrier particles like RBC, pwede din siya latex particle or charcoal. Those are your carrier particles. Making this one as your indirect agglutination reaction. Pero pag direct, wala tayo nito, walang carrier particle. Okay, we have your example of your classification of your indirect. The first one, the passive agglutination reaction. Pag passive agglutination reaction, ang dinidetect natin is your antibody. Okay, pag antibody yung dinidetect natin, and therefore, okay, our reagent here is your antigen. Ang antigen natin ay naka-adsorb sa ating carrier, okay, particle. That's our passive agglutination reaction. Pag reverse passive naman, okay, you are detecting for antigen. Ito ang dinidetect natin. Since we're detecting for antigen, our reagent here would be an antibody. But your antibody dapat naka-attach siya sa carrier particle natin. Example of your reverse passive. So like for example, when we've done laboratory test procedure for the CRP. So CRP, we are detecting that one as our antigen. Okay, ang ating carrier for that is your latex particle. Okay, ang antibody natin is your anti-CRP antibody at naka-attach siya dito sa carrier particle natin. Making this one is reverse passive. So, differentiation between the passive reverse. Pag passive, you are detecting for antibody. Pag reverse passive, you are detecting for antigen. But then again, you are using a carrier particle, making this one as your indirect agglutination reaction. Then we have your agglutination inhibition. Okay, in the case of your agglutination inhibition, so basically, it's equivalent to your competitive na assay. Dalawa nagko-compete dito, we have your particulate antigen plus your soluble antigen. Application of agglutination inhibition, we have your PREG test. Okay, in the PREG test, we are detecting for human chorionic gonadotropin, HCG. Okay, that's human chorionic gonadotropin. Okay, then this is your sample here, and this is your particulate antigen. Then we have here your monoclonal, okay, human chorionic gonadotropin, HCG. This is your reagent. Okay, then another one, we have your soluble antigen. Okay, in the form of human chorionic gonadotropin. But this one would have here considered to be colloid conjugate. Okay, responsible for giving you the color reaction. So ito lang siya. If your sample here contains, for example, meron siya nito, positive ang patient natin. Pag nagkaroon ka nito, then it would react with your monoclonal HCG, so magko-combine ito. Pag nag-combine siya na dito, ito ay magiging hindi na ito magiging free. Okay, pag hindi na ito free, ito ay soluble antigen mo, another agent, will not bind here. So pag hindi siya nag-bind, since ito ay dapat siya responsible for the color reaction, pag hindi siya nag-bind, wala kang color reaction. So pag okay, no color reaction, interpretation for that is positive. Okay, bakit wala siyang color reaction? Because this one hindi siya nag-bind. Okay, hindi siya nag-bind because na-saturate ng ating monoclonal antibodies because your sample already contains your antigen. Okay, para siyang inhibition, so mean to say negative ang kanyang result. Like, in the present color reaction, our interpretation for that is negative. Pag walang color reaction, that's positive ang interpretation natin. Okay, that's for the positive reaction. What we're going to happen here, like for example, pag ang reaction natin ay negative. Mean to say negative tayo, wala tayo nito. Your patient's serum, urine, for example, urine or serum, wala siya nitong hormone na to. And therefore, pag if you try to apply it in the test membrane kit, your monoclonal human chorionic gonadotropin would eventually be still magiging free ito. Tama, kasi wala kang sample mo, wala siyang antigen. Pag magiging free ito, so free ito, magbabind na ito. Pag nagbind ito, we form a complex, so siya may color, magkakaroon ng color reaction. So, color reaction, positive for that. Okay, this is negative na result. Pag may color reaction, negative ang result natin. Pag walang color reaction, that's positive na result. That's agglutination inhibition.